back to the LunchTable podcast.
That was good.
I thought that was pretty good.
We had no one to do the high
It was
note.
better.
Oh wait, here I can high note. I can high note it. Welcome back to the LunchTable podcast.
Wait. Do it again.
Alright.
Oh god.
That was
Oh
the
my
highest
God.
I could go.
This is painful to listen to.
Yeah, we already lost all our viewers.
I was expecting Spencer to just go like real deep note again, but it was like all false. I was like, oh, I got this.
Okay, guys, welcome to the LunchTable podcast. As Elijah said, we have
belt out of tone. That's how
No
it
one.
goes.
apparently no one's here.
No one's
Oh.
no one's here. No, Jerry's here because he wasn't here last week, and we replaced Dallas with Jerry.
Woo!
Yeah, this is technically a
Wow.
continuation
What
of
a
last
step
week's
down in the
podcast.
world.
Oh snap,
You're you
son.
too, Jordan.
Oh snap,
It
son.
should be noted that only one person is recording this right now, so things are likely to go wrong.
Last time we had
Very
3
wrong.
separate recordings.
Yeah.
And
And now
mine
we
was,
have
and
one.
mine turned out the worst, and we used it.
Our standards have dropped.
Yeah, that's what I
We've
said. We
increased
changed to
the
Jerry.
production value, and yet our standards have still dropped.
Why are you so mean to me?
Do we have to do a clap test?
No, I think we're good. Everyone's ping looks fine.
All right.
No, 'cause it's hard to clap when I'm masturbating.
Everyone's averaging like, whoa, okay.
Whoa.
Except for Spencer, his ping's 290, but that's fine.
Yeah, that's because I'm downloading.
Spencer,
large
what's 2 plus
files.
2?
7.
Okay, we're good. He's only slightly delayed.
Anyway, so we have the same list of topics that we had last week, and we're actually just going to continue off of those. And these are
We didn't finish them.
less video game. Yeah, these are less video game related, more real world related, and
They seem more techie to
Video
me.
games
they,
are the
they're a little
real
bit more
world.
techy. But we're gonna try
Video
and keep
games
this,
are the real world.
We're going to try and keep this. Yeah, Skyrim's totally real. And
Pokemon is my life.
Are you telling me
I-
that my relationship with the art to Sony is not real?
Pikachu
is my dog.
I wish I knew who that was.
It's a girl from Mass Effect that you can fuck.
Mass Effect, you mean
She's also an alien. but-
Effect? I don't know.
Basically, the best thing that happened to Mass Effect.
So Jerry was gone.
Not the
No,
story.
the best thing that happened was fucking Miranda.
Jerry was gone.
That was
I
a
think
good
all of
scene.
it was the best.
So Jerry, why don't you tell us
Mass
about
Effect's
your
speaking.
being gone?
For the summer or for?
We last made a podcast in April, except for the one we did last week.
And it was rough. It was season 2. It was a rough start, but we're trying.
It was
Yeah.
before Dallas went to Business Professionals of America
So basically, what I did over the
for
summer.
his finals. All right,
Yeah,
what?
what'd you do over the summer?
Well, I volunteered at a camp. That was pretty fun. Went on a family vacation.
Touched little kids.
Kind
Touched
of.
his family's little kids.
Whoa.
Kind of had to.
I mean, that's mainly it. Was be at camp for about 3 weeks and then go on vacation for the other.
Me and
Part of the summer.
Jeremiah and Kyle, who's still not here, we kind of went on the tour to Donut of like.
We're
the
never
surrounding
having
cities.
Kyle.
We went on the tour to Donut. We went to like we went to a donut shop that's here that basically everyone goes to because it's like the only one.
I had to
And
whip
then-
something out.
Yeah. Nah, I'm not gonna say it's fine. And then we went to another one. It's called
On it-
Cinnamon Spice but it had so good donuts. It was
Yeah.
so good.
Honestly,
They were pretty good.
if our viewers don't know where we are by now, they're kind of dumb. We've
Yeah.
given away so many things.
We're
So
in
let's-
Kansas City, Alaska.
Yeah.
Perfect. So
Damn,
let's
blue.
have a survey.
Shit.
We're in New York
Uh,
City,
who
Oklahoma.
Eats donuts, who eats donuts, and then who uses their donut.
Whoa.
I mean, I eat
Why
and
not
use
both?
my donuts.
Yeah.
To count.
I
Oh.
mean, It's a two
think
for
as
one.
long
Not
as a
necessarily
bad
in that
question.
order.
it's a 2 for 1.
You can't
Basically,
eat-
you should.
I prefer the jelly
Basically,
donuts myself.
basically, you should have said who eats their donuts and then who uses them as like a fake fleshlight.
Ha.
Donuts
Yeah.
can't emit light. Fag.
Oh, I use them as a dildo. What? Oops. Am I doing it wrong?
Jordan,
No.
not
No.
Jerry.
No,
Jerry, I'm sorry, but you had the most boring vacation.
Well,
Story.
Donuts have emotions
without revealing too much, it was actually a lot of fun. Just
Did you
the
save anyone's
volunteer.
life?
No,
Did you
Boring.
almost
Did
die?
you all?
no, I didn't almost die.
Did you not crack your head open again?
I didn't crack my head open again.
It's like he knew
I
you were
mean-
gonna ask that.
Okay, so basically on the vacation I went on, we went to Colorado, and we.
Colorado sucks.
Says
That's
the
exactly
person
why you
who
went to Wyoming, which looks just like Colorado.
It looks the same on a
Minus the
map.
weed.
Good job.
And so while we were there, we went bicycling around the mountains. We went ziplining.
That does suck.
What else did we? We went rafting. Those were the main things. We did a bunch of other small stuff.
Barry's running out of things to say.
I'm going skydiving.
Actually,
that sounds so
I'm
much
kind of
fun.
curious about that. Have you, how close are you actually doing that?
All right, so if I lay down $150, my parents will pay for the rest for like a belated birthday present from like 2 months ago, almost exactly 2 months ago, and
Now they know when your birthday is.
it's basically I'll be going to like an airport nearby because I was just going to say the name, but now I won't because screw you guys, because I don't want to censor myself. For
Kansas City, Alaska National Airport.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
in
it's
Kuwait.
It's
I'm going
LA.
skydiving into Kuwait.
Basically, you're leaving from LAX in Columbus, Ohio, and you're driving to New York City,
And
Oklahoma.
I'm going to do everything in my power to record it.
I have a
Yeah,
question.
sure. And I will supply the GoPros.
So much danger zone.
If you go skydiving in Alaska, does that mean you get to jump with polar bears?
All that means is that you can't push a moose out of a
Contrary to
helicopter.
popular belief, polar bears do not fly, they actually glide.
Oh. Is that kind of like the flying squirrel?
Also,
And they're
they
not
don't
actually
fucking live in
white,
Alaska.
they're really, really African American.
They're really African American.
Fly home.
Learning with Elijah.
Dude, polar bears are not bakers.
Are you
Bears.
implying? So is
Are you
Victor
implying
like
that
an
it's time for the
anti-polar bear?
segment?
Oh yeah, before we get into the topic. Elijah's wise
Polar
words.
What are
bears don't have to read.
topics?
They have to be white.
Elijah's wise words of wisdom. Alright, so you know how Neil Armstrong was the first guy on the moon?
Yeah.
No.
We
No.
Neil
It was
Armstrong
aliens.
is
It
the
was some guy, that Chinese
first
guy in a
person
rocket
we
chair.
sent to the moon, right? Well, his name is Neil Armstrong, or like if you can abbreviate it, it'd be Neil A. Say that backwards. Wake
Didn't
up,
we say this on the
America.
last podcast?
Did we send Neil Armstrong to the moon, or did we send him back to the moon?
Dun dun dun.
I actually, no, I told this to Jordan before, and he thought it was the best thing.
That is hilarious.
No, I didn't.
I just I love the
He's lying
picture
to
though
you.
that you found that went with that saying. It was like some dude with like his hair all crazy, and he's just looking up. And he's like, "Oh my god, look at the sky!" It's like had
Oh,
that
gosh.
look on his face.
So, do you want to
No,
hear my? Do you want to hear my
Elijah,
joke?
The best thing is the duck bicycle joke.
The duck bicycle joke. Oh,
Duck
here's
bicycle.
a joke along that line. I think. There's several forms of anti-jokes. There's an anti-joke where you think it's going to be a joke and then it's just a normal saying, or there's an anti-joke where
I
you
have a
think
good
it's going to be a
anti-joke.
joke and no, Spencer, and we'll save that for your topic. And then there's the different kind of anti-joke where you think it's going to be a joke and it totally takes a twist. And I'll just tell you my joke.
Pulls an
So
M. Night
there's a
Shyamalan.
Brit, a Mexican, and an American on a plane, right? And the plane is carrying cargo, mainly tea bags and peppers. Don't know why, that's the cargo. And all of a sudden, the Brit just gives up, takes a whole box full of tea bags, because they keep those in boxes now, and throws it off the plane. And then the Mexican and the American are like, wait, what'd you do that for? And he's like, yeah, we got so much of this stuff in Britain, we might as well just throw some of it out. And that was pretty flawed logic, but they didn't say anything about it. And in fact, the Mexican, feeling so inspired, got up and threw a bag of peppers out. Like that equates to the whole box of tea bags, but okay. So he throws a bag of peppers out, and the American's like, "Why'd you do that?" And he goes, "Well, we got so much of this stuff in Mexico, might as well throw it out." And the American, immediately seeing this opportunity, pushes the Mexican out of the plane. And the Brit goes, "What the hell did you do that for?" And the American goes, "He killed my wife."
Okay.
What? Oh my god. That was good. And the plot thickens.
Well, we might as well move my topic now. Since we're already talking about the anti-jokes.
That's from the anti-joke subreddit, and it's amazing.
Actually, do we want to segue into your topic, Spencer, with your
Might
joke?
as well. Spencer, go
Let's
ahead
just
with
do it.
your joke.
No, we gotta talk about the topic.
Oh, about
No,
the top.
your
Okay,
joke,
so
your joke should lead into your topic.
yeah, I think we should do the joke.
Yeah,
first.
I agree.
Maybe my topic is a natural log of my joke.
Do the joke, faggot.
Okay.
Gay.
All right, so Google came out with something called the Google
Dang it!
Cardboard.
We gotta do this topic. Come on, Spencer.
All right. So everybody, I mean, it was kind of covered up by the tragic death of Robin Williams.
Where he rests in pieces.
That
know,
kinda makes
hold
me
on.
emotional. But
Hold on. On a lighter note, you know how some people like autoerotic asphyxiation? Some people, when they hang themselves,
yeah.
accidentally get boners because of that. So for a short time, he might have been Throbbing Williams.
Gosh dang it, Elijah! Why?
You're just terrible.
You've ruined
Terrible.
That's the best one. Ever.
Terrible.
You win.
Really?
All right. Well, my talk was
Too soon.
we never talked about the fact that Tony Stewart ran over a dumbass. So we should point out that
There's
That
one
a
less
couple
Well, he's a
weeks
dumbass.
dumbass, so who
Oh,
cares?
Oh man.
a couple weeks ago, you know what? I'm sure he was a great guy, but in that moment, he was a dumbass because they're
In
out
that
here on
moment,
that
he was
dirt
so
track,
stupid he deserved to die.
middle of the night. He's wearing black, and evidently Tony Stewart wrecked him in the last lap. But he was probably just being stupid. I don't really know much about
I think
sprint
he was
racing.
being stupid.
Probably. So he runs in the wall and he's pissed, okay? So he gets out of his car and on the next lap around they throw the caution out so they'll slow down. But they're not going 2 miles per hour. They're still going like 30 or 40 or I don't really know, but and so he gets out of the car, walks out in the middle of the track and starts like pointing at Tony Stewart's car. And so the car in front of Tony Stewart swerves around him because he's like standing in the middle of the track in the middle of the night wearing black clothing, and there's cars going 30 to 40 miles per hour like 2 inches from him. And so Tony Stewart's behind the guy, and he's just going around because it's a caution lap. And all of a sudden, this guy's just right in front of him. And so you know what happens? He's standing in the middle of the trap, so he gets fucking ran over, and he dies.
Yeah,
Now,
that's
see,
that's a
the
flaw in
guys-
his part.
Tony Stewart's like
I'm gonna
driving around,
name
the
this
guy's
This podcast name is going to be Uncensored. I'm just not going to do anything. I'm just going to render it and put it up.
So, like,
Okay,
the
that's
way
interesting.
I see it is the guy.
I don't know if I do that. I don't know if anybody heard my nigger joke earlier.
Oh
so.
God.
Okay,
All
so
right.
the
So
way I
basically,
see
I
it
can say
is just this guy.
Damn motherfucker.
Tony Stewart's like riding around the track, and this guy is like sitting there, and he's like pointing at me. He's like, "You, Tony Stewart's car, you, me, right now, PvP, IRL," and then the guy lost. That's just the story. Tony Stewart had nothing to do with it, his car. So-
He obviously didn't have my skills.
Tony Stewart's car is just like, oh,
He obviously didn't have my skills, because, I mean,
Like,
I can headbutt a freaking diving board.
yeah, you lost that battle.
No, I call
just-
that a tie. I walked
I just
away
don't
from
think there's
that.
much to say. I mean,
Like
it's
the
like
diving board.
I
go
mean,
to the
like,
hospital,
and the
Jerry?
thing-
Don't think so.
No, there was a thing outside of that like the dad. Like, if I was in Tony Stewart's position and I had just killed a man, I would feel awful. And the very first thing I would do is probably like reach out to like the parents and be like, "Hey, this is a tragedy. If I am willing to compensate for your loss of your loved one," and like, offer them like this crazy amount of money. Because let's be honest, you're a race
I mean,
car driver. You have a lot
I
of
don't know
money.
if he did that.
No,
He's
here's the
been,
thing. Like he didn't. If I was Tony Stewart, I would have done that. I know he didn't, but I'm sure it was probably something that was brought up. But then the dad like goes and he's like, I think Tony Stewart's just an awful man, and like he owes me like $10 million in compensation. Like at that point, if I was Tony Stewart, I'd be like, no man, screw you. You're
Yeah, I would
being
say the
like
exact
you
same
just you enter your son in the like most dangerous sport in the world, and you honestly expected something
I
to
don't know.
not go
Have you
wrong.
ever
And
have you
what?
ever
Guess
seen
what?
rugby?
Nothing did go wrong.
Yeah,
The
have
only
you ever
thing that
seen
went
rugby?
wrong is your son's thinking. Your son threw all logic out the window and went, you know what? Walking on the track is probably my best option.
You,
I'm gonna
It's not the sprint car is
him
dangerous.
up.
The
I
guy
don't.
is just
I just don't see an
fucking
alternative to
stupid.
this,
Yeah.
right? I
Like
just
the
don't see
guy just walked out of the car and like, you know what? I'm Johnny Badass. I'm gonna fuck some shit up.
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
That's that's just what he was thinking. Like, you know what? That car stands no chance.
That was the day that guy learned he's not Chuck Norris.
The video makes it even worse too, because the guy like goes from all like being bad to
The
a
video is
rag
That
terrible.
video's
doll.
brutal.
It's bad.
Here's
This
how,
uncensored
wait, here.
version of the podcast brought to you by Apple. So if you have complaints,
Here's
Don't.
how I see it. Here's what it looked like when Tony Stewart ran over him. Just take a pencil and
Stick it in your eye.
roll it on the desk.
take a pencil and then place it on the table.
Just
Put your
roll
hand
it.
over it, and then pretend you are making a snake out of Play-Doh.
Or just roll your hand over it.
Yeah, no, it sounds more fun when you talk about Play-Doh because it's tasty.
Because it's
See,
salty.
I figure the best way.
Because
I figure
Play-Doh
the
is
best
sexually
way to
attractive.
like if you really want like if you don't want to watch the video, I figure the best way to do that is like go get a friend of yours and have him just lay on the ground and then run over him with your car. That's about what happened.
All right.
I figure that's the best way to. I mean,
Hey Jerry, I haven't seen the video. Can you like come to my house real quick?
Yeah, I'll be right there in 5 minutes.
yeah, Jordan, you might want to be careful though. Make
Okay.
sure your auto 4-wheel drive doesn't engage.
I can't turn it off. There's no option.
Why it's called auto.
Hi, Jordan.
Yeah, I know. So,
Jordan was talking about that in the automotive class. It's so funny.
Hi, Jordan.
I can do a burnout sometimes when auto 4-wheel drive doesn't engage.
yeah, because I'm on ice. I mean, it still engages. It just doesn't do anything.
Okay, so should we
All right.
start our second topic?
Yes.
Our main topic. So there's
main
something. So Google is releasing or is attempting an inexpensive virtual reality headset that is made out of cardboard.
Called Google Cardboard. Now
It
attempting.
works. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, you can plug in like a smartphone to it to use it as a virtual reality device, and it's got like I guess the smartphone runs the application, and it just has like the display glasses set into the cardboard that folds up, and it's showing people that you can get virtual reality inexpensively, like as opposed to the Oculus.
Yeah, because the principle is not that complex.
Thanks, Facebook.
You could pair it with your
And
handset.
it's all open source too, so you can like go and do it right now with cardboard in your phone.
That's interesting. Because
Like I
I would
honestly,
never really-
I don't get how it works.
yeah. I
All
don't
right,
either.
so I'll read this for you. You can use household materials to build one of these, and you can use a rubber band to hold your smartphone in place in front of the device. Assembly instructions, plans, and links for where source the parts are needed, like lenses, as well as an SDK, are available on the website for the project. So you could actually make one yourself. And
Right.
Google says they make like a build your own thing that you can have. Developers can make virtual reality apps now and hit a wider audience with them because of this. And the list of supported phones is the Google Nexus 4 and 5, the Moto X, the Galaxy S4 and S5, and oddly enough, the Samsung Galaxy Nexus, the original.
I find
It
that actually
pairs-
funny because the Galaxy Nexus was a horrible phone.
It pairs with
awful.
It pairs with your handset via NFC, and there's already a handful of demos for the app. And the project works with Google Earth, YouTube, and Photosphere as well. So you could, I guess you could do like a Street View thing with it from like Google Earth as well. So I'm looking at
Basically,
the
like,
I'm looking
the
at the
Street View thing where
website.
Like when you put the little like orange guy on the road, like you could see that in virtual reality.
I think so.
Okay,
That's
that'd be
awesome.
pretty cool. I saw a thing about that. This company was offering virtual tours of like stores. Like you could go to his website, click on a store that he's done, and like it would allow you to virtually walk through the store. That'd be really cool.
Yeah, like, and you can go where you want. And
That'd
stuff.
be,
Yeah.
that'd be really cool.
See, and there's like they have software to code a virtual reality game. They have a cardboard, like they have a design. You can make your own cardboard thing, and they have like the lenses and the phone you can use to set it in and everything.
Awesome. Because I know that like the Oculus Rift, even though I see like all sorts of like people saying like, "Oh my God, Oculus Rift!" Like the thing about the Oculus Rift is just one, it's big and clunky, and two, it's like one of those projects that like people got really hyped up over, and then once it finally came out, people were like, "Okay, what do we do with it now?" And then
Alright,
now
so-
that people are starting to do with it, they're realizing how complicated it is to make.
Well, it's not that big and clunky. It's very lightweight actually for how big it is. So
It's
not that
expensive.
The original one
It's
was-
really expensive though for what it is.
The original one was pretty heavy.
I would say
the-
it's not expensive for what it is, but it is expensive just because of what it is.
Yeah.
How expensive is it?
Like $6.
The worst part about this
for
do-it-yourself
what?
kit is the lenses. You have to get like biconvex lenses that like have
But do they cost $600?
no. They have distortion around the edges, so it'll work more like the Oculus Rift. And basically the app on the you slide your phone into the slot basically in front of the lenses, and the app on your phone will act as a virtual reality thing, and the lenses will act as how the Oculus Rift uses the virtual reality, just as seeing the phone in virtual reality.
So the coolest thing I've seen so far for virtual reality is full motion VR. So like the guy, like if you know who Freddie W is, he's a famous YouTuber. His partner that he's always worked with was Brandon Lotch, and they've kind of like they haven't split up, but Freddie W's been focusing more on filmmaking, and Brandon is focusing more on gaming. And Brandon has like started his own game company, and they're making a full bodysuit that you can wear that does virtual reality, and it works. Like I watched them do a whole demo of them being astronauts on the moon, and like their thing was so accurate that when they were in the game, like him and a guy named D who used to be an ex like Modern Warfare 2 professional for like Microsoft or whatever, the thing is accurate that when they were standing there and they went to do a fist bump in the game, they did a fist bump in real life.
The problem
But-
with those things, there's several mechanism devices, whatever, like that, where it's like it's supposed to be like a full body immersion, whatever. While they do work, they're not like, I mean, they work and they're precise and all that, but they're still not very great simulations of what it would actually be like to actually walk around in that space or whatever.
Well, they're not really supposed to be simulations.
You want to know how
It's
much
just
this
supposed- like,
Google
it's just supposed to be,
Cardboard
like,
will cost?
you control the game. How much will it be?
$10.
That seems alright. I mean,
$10 to get this whole lens set, and with like that folds up with the cardboard to be like a mask, and it like straps around the back of your head with like a rubber band, I guess. And
okay, I was about
it's-
to ask.
it's
how
very
would it
ghetto
attach?
looking, and it'll work like as a virtual reality headset. $10. You just gotta have the phone that's compatible.
I think Jordan remembers this. Remember that Kickstarter that came out of the guy that was going to make the thing that worked in companion with the Oculus Rift. It was supposed to be like that treadmill type thing that you wore these special shoes and it made it so you would walk in place.
Yes, they did make that.
Yeah, I have not heard one thing about it since they made it.
Because it's very expensive, it's very big, and like I said, it doesn't simulate walking that well. You can walk and it will make your character walk forward in real life, but it never feels like you are walking in the game. It feels like you are walking to control your character.
So there's still a gap between reality and these
Yeah,
fake
it's
realities
not
we're
the-
making.
full immersion. It's just you're walking on a treadmill to control your character, and that's exactly what it feels like. Instead of you are your character walking forward.
I think the one big problem, like I feel
Very
like
difficult
if you had a room that was completely circular and you had a screen, seamless screen, so all the walls, the wall actually was just a screen, and then you had an omni treadmill on the floor, so that no matter which way you ran, you'd still run in place. I think that would get pretty darn close, because I think the problem with like simulating a game is you'll get
would be
really
a big factor.
you get really close to like feeling like you're in the game, and then you realize, oh, I'm wearing a headset, and then that just ruins the effect.
I think sound would be a big factor as well.
Yeah, that too.
We'll just wait till we get the VR contacts.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Blake has a good point. You can't have that true like reality feeling without nothing being attached to you.
Yeah.
Like you kind of need like this high tech room.
All right. All
I
we
kinda
really
like that
need
thought.
is a big cardboard box in our
But that would-
imaginations.
I don't know if that's possible.
Imagination.
The problem with
Oh
the
boy.
big round room, the thing is, like, I mean, despite the technology that you would need to do it, like, I mean, that's so impractical for anybody except millionaires to buy.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
I
that's
mean,
the
I agree.
thing.
I'm just saying.
Consumer virtual
Yeah.
reality is really, really far away. I think by the time we get consumer virtual reality, we'll have the ability to see into people's brains
I don't
and
think
run
it's far away.
run simulations on people's brains.
I think it'll be an arcade type deal where you pay money to enter this room and have virtual reality for a certain
That would make
amount
the
of
most
time
sense to me.
when it first comes out.
I think, yes, the only way that it could ever become like a household thing is kind of like what Blake said. It would be like you would just run a simulation in your brain. through,
Yeah.
like,
Be the
neurological-
Matrix.
Oh snap!
We don't understand very well enough
Basically,
to
yeah.
do anything.
Yeah, we're
like
not
that.
even close to that.
No.
I-
In fact,
But that's the only way it could ever become like a household thing that like most people can do.
You know, I'll
Unless
tell you,
if-
I'll tell you something. This has nothing to do with gaming. I'll tell you something that's like pretty close to becoming reality. Invisibility cloaks.
Oh, really?
You don't realize how close we are to getting invisibility. We are pretty darn close.
Yeah.
We
I
have
have seen that.
transparency. We
That's
have
pretty cool.
transparency close, or at least
we
translucency.
have the ability. Yeah, we have the ability to take certain cloths from underneath water and run electricity through them, and they disappear. Like we are that close. It is
Wow.
crazy. Yeah, it is
yeah,
crazy.
the hardest part is that they're able to make like small objects, like maybe like a meter wide, completely disappear, but making like a cloak or something more mobile is where the difficulty is.
Yeah.
Another thing we're also really close to doing. Well, I mean, we're not really close, but we're closer. Teleportation.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the scientists have successfully like de-atomized an atom and made it reappear somewhere else.
Oh, really? Nice.
Yeah, but I mean,
Like I said, we're not anywhere near close enough to doing
one
it. But
atom is not 10 quadrillion, alien, gillion, billion.
well, like, you get what I'm saying. There's studies that have shown that scientists have successfully taken very small, I should say particles.
It's somewhat plausible. Somewhat. I see. I get what you're saying.
So
like it's just crazy like how close like I had a moment a long time ago where I was like, this world feels really small. I just thought you realize like how much of this world is inhabited, and then you think about how much we have evolved over time in the past 100 years. It boggles the mind.
Oh, you
Yeah.
can look at like a graph for technology spikes since the beginning of humanity, and you can see like it go up, and technology will actually regress over time, and people don't think about that. Like technology goes into a state where it actually does the opposite of progress, and it will spike up and down. Like during the age of the Catholic Church, like repressing science.
Oh, okay.
Church of Scientology.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I thought it was really interesting. I was looking online, and I was looking at getting a new keyboard, and I have a Razer Black Widow Ultimate 2013. It's $150. It's probably the best keyboard I've ever used. But I went online, and when I was looking for keyboards, I noticed that typewriters are becoming increasingly expensive to buy. Like vintage ones, like from the 1920s, they're going for like $500 to $1,000. And you know why? Because there's a special company online that if you send them your calculator, or your not your calculator, your typewriter, they will outfit it with electronics and make it so you can use it as a USB keyboard.
That's pretty cool.
All right,
I
so
know.
think of this. Like
Easy.
people, you know how like technology is going up and up all the time. That huge technology boost we had in the 1900s, we're still going up. It's almost like a vertical incline. Hey, Dallas is here.
Dallas, stop interrupting the
Dallas,
podcast.
Hold on.
we are reminiscing about technology.
All right, cool. I'm gonna eat a donut.
Okay. The technology spike has been amazing. How long ago were computers invented?
Like
Like-
1980s.
Yeah,
So-
Like PC was like 1980s.
76.
Okay.
somewhere in the last 500
In the
years.
past couple decades, we have gone from the first computer to virtual reality.
Right.
Yeah, that's
You know what?
Crazy.
You know,
I
I was
read-
actually reading something that gave me
We had-
chills the
no.
other day.
We had video cameras before we had cell phones.
Yeah.
That makes more sense.
Yeah.
We also had like telephone. Like we had cell phones before we had reliable TV.
We had light bulbs before we had refrigerators.
okay.
Yeah,
That's
actually
why
really
there's always a light in the
I
fridge.
think.
We had trees before we had wooden houses.
All right, good job, Dallas.
You know, I actually read something that gave me chills like a long time ago. I was reading about chess, and actually this segues into Jeopardy, and it's really great. So IBM a long time ago like set out to beat the world champion at chess, and they did this with a computer that had like the same computing power as like a Galaxy S3. But then IBM was like, you know what? We're also going to become the world champions at Jeopardy, and they invented a machine called Watson, and this machine has I want to say 200 terabytes of every single at the time like Wikipedia page that was at the time. They uploaded it onto this thing, and no one has ever beaten it. No one has ever beaten. It's called Watson, and the computer is like it's a supercomputer. It doesn't even rank in like the top 10,000 list of like most powerful computers on the world. And,
Okay.
yeah,
Fun fact
they-
about IBM.
they haven't changed this machine since they built it, and no one's still able to beat it. It's so crazy.
So fun fact, company HAL that makes Kirby and some other games, but most importantly Kirby, created the name HAL by taking each letter of IBM, putting in a letter before it, because they wanted to be one step better than them.
That's hilarious.
Nice.
Jordan's
Nice.
like, yeah, I
Hal.
read that too.
All
That-
right,
that's-
so
It's crazy.
this is something else I was talking about. We have in theory the ability to make warp drives that can go faster than light travel for space.
I don't think
definitely
we
don't
have
have
quite
that
FTL. I mean,
we
have.
have the concept for it has moved from sheer conjecture up to speculation.
Okay, that's a little different.
That's a lot different than the possibility of making it.
And it's a
Yeah.
lot different than the possibility of that'd be nice to have one day.
You know, I'll be happy when
We-
they finally invent the hovercraft.
The
Like,
idea
Yeah.
for this
not the
is
typical
on-
hovercraft. I want this thing to hover.
I'm
above
reading this. The idea for this is it says it is edging into the realm of science. We're at the point where we know what we do know and know what we don't, but do not know for sure if it's possible. But in theory, there's two rules about faster than light travel. And rule number one is the distance you'll travel depends on how fast you move for how long you're moving.
Okay. your
And
basic
rule number
concept
two is no matter how fast you're moving, you'll always see the speed of light as being the same. So
You're ever of Attila.
If you are, that is really weird. Wait,
Don't even think about it.
Have you ever
Doesn't
thought about
work.
like the kind of things that like NASA engineers went through when we were going to the moon?
Yeah.
I mean, just like think
You ever
about
think
it.
about the things that NASA made in a movie called Apollo 13?
Wasn't that movie was real? Like that movie happened, right?
Yeah.
Those
They went
very
through the
realistic.
atmosphere in the movie. I just think it's crazy. I didn't know that zippers were invented for NASA just to go to the moon.
all right.
really?
Yeah, the very first zipper was the airtight zipper used on Neil Armstrong's spacesuit.
Nice.
Yeah, before it was all solid, like it was rubber gaskets, and you had to put a bunch of screws in. And they were like, you know what, this is cumbersome, so they invented the zipper.
So,
Crazy.
all right. So I did a little bit more reading, which I probably should have done about this, and they're talking about how imagine the only thing you can do is hear, like all you have is a hearing, and say a train drives by you. So you identify everything with sound. When a train goes by, its horn never changed. It was always tooting at the same tone tooting. But it was the train's motion that made it appear to change because of,
Doppler effect.
yeah, the Doppler.
Doppler effect.
Yeah. And that's how it is with light. Everything we know around us, we know by light. Or electromagnetism. So what we hear is like air molecules bouncing off each other in waves of pressure, and what we feel is air molecules bouncing off our skin. Now, so everything is governed by electromagnetic forces, and when we start moving at speeds approaching the speed by which we get all of our information gets distorted. So when you approach the speed of light, you will stop seeing things as you would usually by light. So everything would become distorted as well, and that's why you see the star effect where everything stretches out. I think Vsauce has a good video on this for hyperspace travel. So there's a thing called spatial relativity, which was that rule number 1 and rule number 2 thing. So the distance you'll travel depends on how fast you move for how long you're moving, and no matter how fast you move, you'll always see the speed of light as being the same. And there is 2 theories, I guess, for a way around that, which is the wormhole transportation thing, where you can, think of the universe as a flat piece of paper, and think if you bent that piece of paper in half, the point where it would touch would be like how a wormhole would work. That's I guess the best explanation for about a wormhole. And the warp drive is, there's something called Alcubierre's warp drive, and I probably butchered that name. And although spatial relativity forbids object to move faster than light within space-time, it's unknown how fast space-time itself can move. To use an analogy, imagine you are on a moving sidewalk that could be found in some airports. The warp drive is like one of those moving sidewalks. Although there may be a limit to how fast one can walk across the floor, what if you are on a moving section of floor that moves faster than you can walk?
Going backwards.
So
Then wouldn't you like be doing a foot burnout?
so technically, it would be as if you are not moving as faster than the speed of light yourself, but you are involved in something that can itself move faster than the speed of light and always has been.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah, I do
Like
understand.
it's really like the way he's explaining it is really far fetched. Like it's one of those things like it could work, but like
This is all theory.
So it's
at
well,
this point, though.
the theory on space-time is that it expands faster than the speed of light like during the Big Bang and stuff. Like if you were on that theory, that was how that would work. Because faster than light could move is how fast this space-time expanded. So if space-time can expand faster than the speed of light, would we be able to use that for a warp drive to move as fast as space-time?
I've actually, there was every single time I think about space, I never try and think outside of our own galaxy, because I'll be straight up honest. If I think about how space is, like, I get really scared. It scares me to death to think about space, because I have my religion, and I firmly believe in my religion, and it just scares me to death to think about, like, how space works.
All right, so you know the whole theory about extraterrestrial life.
Yes.
I guess.
Which one?
There's a lot.
Yeah. Which
So,
of the 2 million are you talking about?
Sentient life. Because based on how big the universe is, it's almost statistically impossible that there's not another planet out there that has sentient life. And
Yes.
the reason, and I heard this from somewhere, and I can't remember where. It might have been actually a Rooster Teeth podcast that they were talking about it. But they're talking about how civilization goes through a stage where it goes, it's almost like a test where it will advance far enough to have the ability to wipe itself out.
We're already at that point. We've got
Yeah, I was about to say,
900
When we
million
created
tons
the
of...
atomic
Yes.
bomb, we
That
entered
was
the
our
stage where we had the ability to destroy ourselves.
We have like 900 million pounds of like VX stored in some sort of bunker in New Mexico, and like one drop of that crap can kill a guy in 3 minutes. We've passed that point. We've eclipsed it like 6 times.
We're pretty proficient at killing people.
Yeah, we know how to
Alright.
kill people. No, actually, I want to bring up. Are you done with this? Can I?
Hold on. There's actually a proposed method of getting said warp drive to work. So to create an effect like that,
Nuclear explosion in space.
No, to create an effect where you would be able to move at the speed of space-time, you would need a ring of negative energy wrapped around your ship and lots of it. And it's still debated. It's still debated in physics whether negative energy can exist.
Basically, you'd have to have like a mini hadron collider around
And
your
classical
ship.
physics tends like to lean toward no, and quantum physics tends to lean towards maybe yes. And if you were able to create negative energy like that, you'd need a way to control negative energy, turn it on and off at will.
You know, I feel like the theories about negative energy are up there with cold fusion. Neither of the theories are so far fetched that I think the solution is blatantly obvious, and we're just not. I think the solution is obvious, but we're not to the point where we can make that solution obvious. You get what I'm saying? Like once we have the technology, figuring out the solution will still be hard, but it'll be a lot more obvious than people think. I don't know how to explain it without sounding like redundant. Because obviously, once we have like more technology and stuff that's more advanced, yeah, it'll make it easier to find solutions. That's obvious. But I feel like we're gonna get really advanced material and realize that we're extremely stupid, and the solution, like we were able to do cold fusion like back in like the 1940s or something. If we're done here, I have something else I'd like to say about eyesight.
I have a question.
Yes,
Oh, go ahead.
How did we get on this topic?
we were talking about.
You
space
missed a
travel.
lot. This is like one of the most educational things we've ever done. I'm loving this.
This is the most educational tangent we've ever
Blake
gone on.
makes point, I want to make
So-
a point.
We
Okay.
started with virtual reality.
Okay, go Jordan.
Oh, I can make a point for you, Blake? Okay.
Go for it.
So, like, I was reading this thing online, and it, like, blew my mind, and I really agreed with it, and it's like, it was an amazing point. It's not really a space travel or anything, but it's like, okay, how long do you guys expect that you will live?
80 years.
Okay,
About the same.
because that's about the life expectancy, right?
Yeah.
Okay, but you can't just look at what's your life expectancy to figure out how long you're going to live. You have to figure out what's going to be the life expectancy in 80 years?
That's true.
Well, and I
You
have
could live to be 200 very plausibly.
That is
it
true.
really
You know what I thought? I'm gonna live until I die.
here's another. You know how people are saying
Better
that the
start
life
living, Dallas.
you know the life
And I'm right.
expectancy not a decade. Let's say 100 years ago, I believe the life expectancy was at about maybe 50.
Yeah, 40
Do you
or
know?
50.
Do you know why that was?
Because people died earlier.
Malaria,
It was
polio,
because
terrible
the
accidents.
majority of deaths were child deaths, so they configured that age into the average of the death toll.
I was gonna say, because if the life expectancy was 50,
the
theoretically
older-
my grandma has almost died twice.
The older people
Yes.
still had the same life expectancy they do today, but they had much more children dying because they did not have the level of care they do for
Yeah.
So
childbirth they do
so
now.
what you're saying basically is that America, we've lied this entire time about life expectancy, and the life expectancy that it is now has probably been that way for like the past 100, 200 years.
Probably.
We have not
I'm
achieved
pretty sure
any
it's
state of
improved a little bit.
we have not achieved any state of being of living so like decades longer. We still have about the same life expectancy we did before, but we
It's
have
probably
healthier
up by a year or two.
But we have healthier conditions. If
Right.
somebody lived in the
Yeah.
same health conditions from back then, they'd live about the same.
Now
as we do now.
I had
but
something.
I'm not saying that the life expectancy can't go up. That we can't, conquer this amazing.
That's mainly
feat.
because of technology, though.
I believe that there's going to be an age, and I think that age is a lot smaller than people. Like 200 years old, I think that's probably a little bit outside. I think the age that people will be able to live reliably is a lot lower than people think. I honestly think that 120, and Dallas
like
probably
good
knows
number.
why I'm saying this. I believe that 120 years of age will be the max that any one person can live. I think physically.
I think it depends on the
Physically,
technology.
physically living a successful life, and the way I define successful life is that one, you've worked, you've lived. I use the American dream. You've lived the American dream. You've worked. You've worked as a person in society. You've accomplished a task. You've not just lounged around. You've done no drugs. You've not done anything outside of eating food or drinking anything necessary to harm your body in any way. So that includes smoking, drinking, doing drugs. Medicine does not count unless you're addicted to it, or you've gone through some debilitating disease, that kind of stuff. Lived a normal life. I think 120 will be the max that you can live with normal wear and tear on a body.
Well, hold on. I agree, but and Vsauce has a video on this too. They're talking about one very easy way that we could quote unquote live forever would be technology could very easily within the next 100 years get to the point where you could very easily replace any part of your body that has issues with like a synthetic replacement.
Yeah.
And
Except
I
for the
mean,
brain.
eventually you would basically end up to where not a single part of your body was original, but the you part would still be there. You would still be alive. You just would not have any of the body you were born with, but you would still be alive.
I would hope that by that
And so
time,
you could keep going like that forever, in theory, if you want.
I would hope by that time that society would still hold, I don't want to call them morals, the same kind of ideas that I think most of us here in this podcast, that if you had the option to replace a body part that was synthetic, oh, hey, Kyle. If you
Damn
have the
podcast.
we're doing a podcast. If you had the option to change any part of your body with something synthetic, I honestly would not have a desire to live, because I wouldn't like knowing that.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm now alive forever. What do I do?
I agree to a point.
I don't like the idea of
but
death, but I don't like the idea of having to go through something.
Yeah.
I agree to a point.
I don't mind the
agree
idea
that
of
a lot
death.
of. I would agree that 99.9% of people would follow what you say, but I'm a bit of a Burke in the sense that I'm kind of weird, and
Oh, yeah,
I guess I
like-
don't have
like-
morals.
Yeah, the idea of
I
that
would
is
personally
awesome.
live forever if I could.
Yeah, the idea of
The way
living
I
forever
feel about
would be
it-
awesome, but
The
at
way
the
I
same,
think about it,
Yeah.
you mind if I say something real quick?
go for it.
is why do I need to live forever on Earth if I can live forever in heaven, which is a better place?
Absolutely, I agree with that.
Religion
I do agree.
only
don't
on the
care.
LunchTable podcast.
This is my podcast. And by my podcast, I mean we're all doing this together, and I don't really care.
We're all in this together.
Well, you're talking
Alright,
about your religion. You're not imposing it on anybody, so that's fine.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay, I'd like to
Yeah,
move
you're
on
good.
to another
Yeah,
point.
hold
And
on.
this is a very short one.
Disclaimer.
Oh,
If
okay.
anyone would like to talk about that with me, I'm up for it.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Like, I'm talking about commenters and stuff, because I know
Okay.
what you guys'
Ooh.
opinions are.
Yeah. I'd like to move on to another point, and this one's it'll probably be really short. When I started taking chemistry with our teacher, last name Thrasher, that's all I'm gonna say, and she was an awesome teacher, but just sucked at teaching. She was an awesome person. She's like, okay, but like when I was first learning about like how light worked and whatnot, and it was being explained to me that if you think about it, and you think about how we've got color photos and we got black and white photos, and people go joke back in time, oh yeah, back in the past everything was black and white. If you think about it, this whole world is in black and white. If we didn't have a sun, color wouldn't exist.
Well, if we had
We didn't
if
have
we
an
had a
atmosphere.
sun, we wouldn't have black and white.
No,
If we didn't have a sun, we wouldn't have color.
Yeah,
We
if you
wouldn't have
didn't
white.
have a sun, you wouldn't have color. So it would either be all black or everything would either be all white.
Think-
And that is
think-
actually
There
that
would
is actually
no energy.
I think
because the
everything
color
would be
energy comes from the
dark,
sun.
and technically isn't dark the absence of light?
Yeah.
yeah, and white is also the absence of color. And there's actually a really strong debate about
No.
whether or not if
No,
Yes.
White is all color. It's not a debate.
white is all colors.
white is all color. I've gotten that confused.
Black.
Okay, but yeah, black
Black.
is the absence of color.
So it's a debate that black is even a color then?
Yeah, it's a debate of whether or not black is a color, or if we had no sun, would there be different shades of black?
Yes. Let me explain it to you simply. There is very little light from the stars, and I guess the moon wouldn't even matter at that point. But the stars would still be shining, right?
Yeah.
Outside, because all the sun is another star. It just happens to be closer to us. So what we would get is the light from the very little light from the stars, which would reveal slight shades that we can't see very well
Because
with our eyes. Now,
I
if
always
we
thought
had
about-
been born without a sun, and somehow there was a self-sufficient energy within the Earth that would somehow work. I don't know how it would work, but we should pretend. Then I think that the human body would eventually adjust to the amount of light seen, and we would be able to adapt to the light and understand different colors from that.
Yeah, Dallas is right. There was a study that a university did, or someplace, and I thought it was a really cool study, and I wish I could take part of it because it sounds awesome. Like, they gave all these people these glasses, and these people had to wear these glasses for the next, like, month, and never take them off for anything. And what the glasses did is they flipped everything they saw upside down. Within a week, their brain had already flipped it right side up again.
Yeah.
And then when the month was over, when they took the glasses off, their brain hadn't adjusted to that yet, so they still saw things upside down again. And then a week later, they went back to normal.
Okay, first off, I want to say, how much would that fuck you up?
So hold on.
A lot.
For the first
Like,
week,
wait,
you'd be
why is
pretty
everyone on the
fucked up,
ceiling?
But then after that, you'd be fine.
So
Until you took the
when we
glasses off.
originally, I'm sure you guys know this. When we originally, our eyes bring everything from the start, bring everything into our vision upside down, and our brain reverses it anyway. So we would actually be reversing our reversed vision from doing that.
Yes, they did. They did like a neurological scan or something, and they found out it was not that the brain stopped flipping it; they just flipped it a second time.
I just thought it was just so cool because I'd always wondered when I was if like whenever I was laying in bed and I like put my head underneath the covers and it was just complete darkness, I was like, huh, I wonder if my bed sheets are still the same color.
Blake,
No, they aren't.
You had so much more philosophical questions about your life when you were a kid than I did.
Dude, I think about everything.
When I was
Like,
a
wonder
kid,
how
I
sex
would.
works.
When I was a kid and I saw something I didn't understand, I wondered if I could eat it.
You know, I actually took that literally. In 7th grade, I ate rocks all the time. Dallas
Don't
remembers
worry.
that. I ate rocks like off the
And you
sidewalk.
licked the floor.
I licked the floor of the lunchroom like 7 times, and I almost went and licked the bathroom floor just to like prove people wrong, but I wouldn't.
I remember you snuffed a BB, like an airsoft BB.
I did snuff a BB.
Hey, by the way, how
It
long
hurt
have
like
you been
hell.
recording
What's
so
wrong
far?
with you, Blake?
About an hour, I'd say.
All right.
So
Do you want to make it an hour and a half again?
we can go on as long as we need to. Let's move on to the next topic.
Yeah,
I
the
think.
next. Which one
Okay,
is
that's
it?
fine with
Do you want to
me.
move this
number is
one
that?
or the pirating one?
We're on pirating now.
Okay,
So
Pirating.
I'll
read this.
You
Wait,
can read it if
there
you
it
want.
is.
Okay. It says file sharing doesn't hurt box office revenue. Research finds. Research into online piracy comes in all shapes and sizes, often with equally mixed results. Often the main question is whether piracy is hurting sales. A new study conducted by economist Coleman Stump is one of the most comprehensive of the subject so far. Drawing on data from a popular BitTorrent tracker and revenue projections from the Hollywood Stock Exchange, he researches how the release of pirated movies affects box office income. Okay, there's no evidence in my empirical results of file sharing having a significant impact on theatrical revenue, Stump tells Torrent Freak. Okay, my best guess is estimated that the file sharing reduced the first month's box office by $200 million over 2003 to 2009, which only results in 0.3% of what movies actually earned. I am unable to reject the hypothesis that there is no impact at all on file sharing on revenues. So while there is a small negative effect, there is limited to 0.3% and not statistically significant. One consistent result is that file sharing arrivals shortly before the theatrical opening have a modest positive effect on box office revenue. One explanation is that such releases create greater awareness of the film. This is also the period of heaviest advertising. I think that's really all I need to read because the rest is basically about that.
I have two very short things to say about this.
Okay.
My cousin Matt said that a lot of times, if he wants to listen to a comedian or watch a movie, he'll torrent it. Then if he likes it, he'll go buy that movie or DVD of whatever it is. He'll buy it just because he likes it.
That does make sense.
It does make sense because he wants to support the people that he just got it from. So the other thing is, this bro, my gay friend Justin, also a professional hacker. He could be a professional hacker, but with his phone, which is not a smartphone by the way, he tethered into our principal's computer.
Goodness.
No.
Oh.
And our principal had BitTorrent and was downloading 6 things.
That's amazing.
We don't know what they are, but she was.
What?
You know, the way I see
They were all
torrents,
porn.
I've seen
That would
people
be so
ask this
funny.
before in like YouTube comments and whatnot. Like, they're like, how do people like? I'm just gonna use Adobe because let's be honest, the most torrented program of all time is by far Adobe After Effects. By far.
What?
Adobe
Wouldn't it
programs in
be Windows OS's?
That is true. Windows OS's would be the most torrented, but I'm
But
gonna
that's
use
not
something.
a program, is it? Is OS?
No,
that's
it
an operating
technically is.
system. It's
So I'm gonna
it's
use
software.
I'm gonna use a program.
It's no one.
Because I'm gonna use a program, one Adobe After Effects because of price. Windows 7 Ultimate, which is by far I think the most expensive operating system that Windows has sold to date. As a single license, obviously you can buy Enterprise for like $5,000 and you get unlimited license. Windows 7 Ultimate retailed when it came out for $500. Adobe After Effects Adobe
Wow.
After Effects retailed for $1,500.
Yeesh.
That's because
Yeah, it's
Adobe's a greedy money.
Yeah,
money
okay.
hungry jerk.
But people have asked, like,
Pretty
how's
stingy.
come Adobe is able to still like run their company and release new software versions if so many people torrent. It's because not everyone knows how to use torrents, and there's still tons of businesses that buy their crap because Adobe doesn't care about the people like us. They care about businesses that spend like millions of dollars on their software.
And there's another thing. Would you really buy it if you couldn't have the option to torrent it? And the answer is probably not.
Yeah.
Let's just pretend
The people that were going to see these movies were going to see them whether
No
or
matter
not
what.
torrents existed because they
If
want
I
to go to
had-
the theaters.
Wait, let's just pretend
And the people
that
that
I had-
torrent it the people that torrent it were not going to go to the theaters in the first place, were they? Not for the most part. I do not.
Exactly.
So business loss is business loss. Business gains, business gains.
If we could
So it
pretend
can be. It's
that I
kind of
had
like
to-
the exact opposite of what Dallas's cousin does.
if we had the pretend situation where I made $200,000 a year, I would buy Adobe's products
Yeah.
because I had the money for it. I might as well. It's going to support the company, and I also get programs.
It's also going to
That
benefit you
are
and save you a
amazing.
lot of like hard work in the long run.
It's
That too.
it's the lazy man solution.
It is.
A lot of pirating that, not that I would ever do this, that would you go through a lot of hard work
Yeah.
to get these things working that I have heard about, and
I
no.
have
see,
heard
here's
about
another thing. Pirating,
Haven't you
no matter
also
what you
heard that,
say,
like,
it's still
a
against
lie.
the law.
Lies
And
out the ass.
it-
Doesn't everyone know this?
no matter what you say, pirating's still against the law, and if you get prosecuted for it, it's your own fault for breaking the law.
Yeah, but the only reason companies are going to prosecute you is if you're making tons of revenue that they would get.
Yes.
Yeah.
I've
That's-
also heard that if you are me, I've only heard this. If you are me, it is impossible to find a Windows 7 Ultimate Edition torrent. It's impossible. You just can't find them. They're nowhere on the internet. I don't know this.
And
I'm just
I
saying,
also
like,
heard
if you
that
were
if
me,
you are me, and Blake looks for anything ever and cannot find it, which is almost a guarantee, it will take me almost 5 seconds.
that's
Oh,
the thing
yeah.
though. Like, we've postulated
I gotta go
and
look
we've
for one right now.
hypothesized, and we've never been able to prove this theory. It's just impossible. Can't do it. It's about like warp drive.
We cannot.
Except for a realist.
I'll believe Warp Drive when I see it.
I'll believe that I can find Windows
That's a
7
joke
Ultimate when I
because you
see
won't be
it.
able to see it because it's faster than light.
I don't think the drive is fast.
Wait, oh, so it already exists. No, Dallas, it already exists. We just can't see it. It's a theory. It's conspiracy theory. The government is putting fluoride. There's
It's like,
fluoride
did
in
it
our
work?
water.
I don't
It is
know.
poison. It does not protect your teeth. Also, the white clouds you see coming out of jets, that is not smoke. That is chemicals. Dropping the mic.
So has Kyle
Walk
said
away.
anything yet? Because I muted him the moment he came in because of his fucking loud ass keyboard.
No,
he hasn't said anything.
All right.
Good.
So, but like torrents, even though we've got these programs like uTorrent, BitTorrent, and like all these, finding torrents that work.
That we totally don't use. No.
Yeah,
I'm
finding
gonna
torrents.
say- I'm gonna say-
Kids, finding torrents is extremely
What?
hard. You should only leave it up to people like us.
That
Well,
was-
like, not like we do that. Like, don't. What the heck? Is this that website?
No, it's not. I was looking for Blake's thing, and I
No.
just click on a link, and it has like one of those pop-up things, and this was it.
audio.
And it's just like, are you a boy or a girl?
the
Oh,
audio.
I've seen that before.
Okay, well that's a link now.
Okay.
Gosh dang it.
Yo, Blake, I found Spanish Windows 7 Ultimate.
That's awesome. Actually,
Alright.
moving.
So as
Actually, I'm
long
gonna
as you can read
segue
enough
this.
Spanish to get to the change it to English.
How?
Why do you need Windows 7 Ultimate?
He
That's what I'm.
doesn't. He already
That's what
has
I
it now.
have.
I don't. I already had a license and it was legal.
Oh,
I had paid for it.
you did?
Gay.
Yes.
What a fucking idiot.
Yes. All right.
Okay, I'm actually gonna segue this because Windows is probably one of the most pirated OSs. let's talk about how Windows and Microsoft is apparently now throwing
yes.
all logic out the window and discontinuing support for their newest operating system already.
Well, all right, hold on. So
Which I'm mad about, 'cause they
first
just
we
got
talk
it.
about Windows 9. Windows 9 can say this was
It's gonna be the good one.
this was released early August, so about 20 days ago. Windows 9 could be free for Windows XP, Vista, and 7 users. So if
8's
you
basically
are
free.
running anything but Windows 8, they will upgrade you to Windows 9 for free.
Otherwise,
And,
you're
you
just
know,
fucked.
Here,
Or
It's gonna be
you know,
the good
and
operating system.
I'm
Because-
pretty sure I know what this stemmed from. Go ahead, Dallas.
All right, this is either going to be the good operating system or the bad operating system. Because
And
here's the
I'm-
chain of command. You had
here's-
Windows 98, that was good at the time. Then you had Windows Millennia, and that sucked.
Terrible.
And then you had Windows XP, which was fantastic.
Possibly
Then
one
you
of
had
the
Vista,
greatest
which
operating
sucked.
systems
Then
ever.
you had 7, which was probably the best one to date.
Yep.
Then you had 8, which was terrible.
It's the
And then-
odd-numbered ones.
And then you had 8.1. So does that count as 8?
That's
Yeah,
part.
no,
it's an
no.
update to
It's
8.
8.1. 8.1 is completely different than 8.
It's an
8.1 is really good.
Yeah,
It's
8.1 is actually like decent. It just doesn't have a start button. That's its one problem.
here's why I'm leery about
It
Windows
technically
9.
does.
They were advertising that Windows 9 would be the exact same thing on everything that ran it, including tablets and
All right, it's bad.
smartphones.
It's bad. 8.1 was
sucks.
a good one.
It already sucks. Actually, now that you said that, I have no support for this.
But Windows 8 was scrapped by Microsoft officially. They are writing
Yeah.
off Windows 8. Sales for the OS have been poor, and it's starting to lose market share to Windows 7.
Wait, if they write it up, does that mean it's like legal to torrent it?
Yes, it is because it's
That's
now
what I
no
thought.
longer. It's no longer a
Well,
sold product.
and-
Well, they could
It's
go after
still
you.
it
for that.
still is. So now that we look at this, so at first they were going to upgrade everyone to Windows 9 for free unless you had Windows 8, and now they're just nothing Windows 8 whatsoever. There's no more There's going to be no more update releases for Windows 8. We're not going to deliver a Windows 8.1 update 2. None of that.
They actually released. I think this stemmed from 8 came out, and because 8 was a mobile version, just adapted for desktops, it was easily hackable. Like it took no effort at all for hackers to figure out like how to bypass basically every single restriction in it. So they went, you know what, we're gonna release 8.1, and 8.1 fixed a bunch of that stuff because there was a very important security update that came out for that. I don't know which one it was, but I know it was a big deal because right after they released it, so many people that had Windows 8 didn't take the update. They said, if you don't take the update, we're no longer going to supply other updates for Windows 8 users. And so many people didn't take it that they just said, you know what, we're not even going to offer the update now.
All right, so
You can't even get that. You can't even get the update. Like, it was supposed to be released, never got released. So everyone that had Windows 8.1, you're in the clear. If you had Windows 8, you're screwed.
So Windows 8 won't even be 2 years old until October. So they're
many
putting
years
out
did
a
Windows
new
X
OS.
come
So people were saying Windows version should last 12 years, like XP. They just
XP
moved
lasted
to the-
from, I think, like 2003 to 2009.
It was released in 2001.
One? Okay.
Yep.
and it's just now being stopped being supported, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
April 18th.
Yeah,
April 18th, they stopped
So-
supporting it.
So let's just say, what is that?
12 years.
12.
Yeah, that's what I'm
13.
saying. 12
Oh,
years.
Windows
13.
XP had a pretty good run.
So
So Windows
They-
XP.
Windows 8 out for almost 2 years, and now we're going to go to Windows 9.
It's like the Katy Perry. No, it's like the Kim Kardashian wedding of OSs.
Not expected to last.
Yeah, 72 days. That was a terrible joke, but you know,
It works.
roll with it. Let's roll with it. Anyway, Windows 8.1 is not bad. I mean, you just kind of have to get past the whole app screen and the facts that there's kind
You have to
of
get
a
past
start
the
bar.
fact that it's Windows
So
8.
there's an article there's an article here saying what they must do to avoid flopping like Windows 8 did. First thing, no more split personality.
Absolutely.
No, they merged Windows Desktop with the finger-friendly touchscreen interface, but it didn't work out.
Yeah, I agree with that one.
I will say,
So
I've used Windows 8, 8.1 on one of the HP laptops that had a touchscreen. Flawless. 8.1 for a touchscreen, perfect operating system. I love.
Wait, so would they be
so-
discontinuing the operating
so-
system for the tablets too?
the speculation is Microsoft may split the platform into a desktop and only version as well, but that would be a wrong move. They need to have integration. So the touch UI should have a almost like a transparent background for the desktop. As in, it's like Windows Desktop, but touch is a thing. Do you understand what I'm saying?
So basically,
I
like if we're picturing 8.1, you have the ability to have like those app tiles still on the same.
We're talking about we have Windows Desktop, and it's not it's not a touch only thing.
Okay.
But touch options are still an option. But if you took away all of that, you'd still be able to use the computer just fine with a keyboard and mouse. And remember, most people use a keyboard and mouse. Windows 8 is not the best thing to use for keyboard and mouse.
Yeah. The
And learn to scale down your sidebars as well.
Yeah.
That took up a lot of space. There are other stuff on there. Also, play nice. Play nice with other things.
Yeah. Absolutely.
For Windows users, part of the appeal is not a Mac OS. This is Windows.
Supposed to run on everything.
It says Windows 8 veers dangerously away from like imposing Windows Live accounts on all users and being for the search and stuff.
Yeah. The thing I liked about Windows XP was just the simplicity. Like everything is easy to find. You didn't have to go searching for stuff. You didn't have to you didn't have every single program on the computer on a stupid dock at the bottom of the screen. Also, you didn't have a mouse that took 4 fingers to use.
All right, so here's what we have. So with making Windows 8 was fast, efficient, and stable, and had built-in good security. It was the UI that did not go over well.
Yeah, Windows 8.1 was actually proven to run games faster.
So they have a really good system here, and in Windows 9, if they can remake the UI to be better, it'd be good.
It would be good. I think just it's going to be hard to. I really think they need to push forward with bit operating systems. We went from 32. We're on 64. Please, Microsoft, I want to see a 128. Because if I'm going to apply the logic that has happened for random access memory, RAM, for computers, we've just now made the switch from DDR3 RAM to DDR4, and the upgrade in performance is... It's crazy how much more performance you get out of DDR4 RAM. It's so much faster at the same kind of... same kind of structure. All they did was just some key components.
And there's another thing that they don't like even though Windows 8 it's going to run on everything, right? Xbox is from Microsoft, right? There's nothing between Xbox and Windows. I'm trying to say. They're both owned by Microsoft, right? You think they'd have some sort of compatibility with each other. You could have...
That would be the one thing that could make Xbox nice.
Mm-hmm.
It ran Windows.
Yeah.
If you could just...
Actually, I think Windows 8.1 has more in common with the PlayStation, what it runs. PlayStation 4, I don't know what operating system. Yeah, it looks. They're uncannily similar.
They
Crazy. I mean, they both have
amazes
the.
me, and it always amazed me that Microsoft can make like amazing computers and the OSs and stuff, and then they cannot make a good game system to save their lives.
Yeah.
I thought the Xbox 360 was nice. Maybe not itself, but I liked.
It was. I mean, it alone, if you just gave it to me, I'd enjoy it. But compared to the PS3, it was like, it was. I'd rather have the PS3, and then of course the Xbox One to the PS4 is just like, oh god, you know?
Yeah. I'm not. I guess I didn't really see a huge. I didn't see how different the PS3 and the Xbox 360, the views on that. I was like, oh, here's one gaming console, here's another. If you want to play these games, you got to buy a PS3.
It was the games that made the difference.
Yeah, if you want to play these games, you got to buy a 360. And then there's the PS3 Online.
Has no IPs.
The PS PlayStation Network to the Xbox Live.
You know what I think will definitely, and this is gonna sound, I think, a little bit far-fetched. I think the biggest thing that will improve user experience on computers, faster internet. I think, Spencer, we need to take up Australia's standards.
The thing,
Seriously.
like, PlayStation, Australia, release every game $20 over what it's worth, and censor a bunch of stuff?
Everyone has access to 150 meg internet or plus.
Well, 50.
50. But it had a 50 in it.
Australia has some huge laws on games. Like, they get all their games late, and the games that they do get are sold for a ton of money. And they have a lot of banned or censored stuff in Australia as well.
But like,
I don't think that's as bad as like Germany.
Internet-wise, I just think that faster internet available to the public will make computer experiences much better. Because our computers are very quickly being ran by the internet.
Google Fiber?
Yes. Like, think about it. We get all of our programs and updates from the internet. Without the internet, your computer is kind of stuck where it is until it can either get updates or you can get programs for it. And very quickly, I feel like we're going to just have massive server banks. And all you got to do is plug a monitor into your wall, and that's a computer. And you just log onto your account.
That'd be great.
Giant tablet.
That is, you know what that is? Actually, we already have that. It's called Chromebook.
This is how you back up a Chromebook.
I mean, think about it. Like, what I just described is basically Chromebook. It's kind of sad, and it sucks.
All right, so hold on. Rewinding to PlayStation and Xbox. They're talking about you can have an Xbox Live like Silver account, but you can't do much with it. You can connect and download arcade games, but you cannot play online multiplayer, I believe. And PlayStation Network was, I think, free. But PlayStation Network managed...
Not anymore.
Yeah, it's not anymore. But it managed to get hacked, and everything went down for a while. And I forget when that was. That happened. That did happen, though.
Are we talking about the big one, the big PSN network hack by Anonymous, or are we talking about like the smaller one that happened like right after the PS4 came out?
I think the big one, because it was before the PS4.
That was because the PS3, while it like at the time when the PS3 came out, the Xbox 360 and the PS3, they're honestly on a technical level there was no discernible difference. They both kind of ran games at the FPS, both the same kind of graphics quality. That's debatable, yeah, I know, but for the most part, they were pretty similar. The difference was the Xbox 360's operating system is more sound because, one, they've got Microsoft backing them. So the security that's in the system itself is extremely good. The PS3 was very much homebrew. Like, it was not hard to take the operating system off and put homebrew on it and then just start hacking the network, which is exactly what someone did. Which I think that actually you can relate that back to why Windows 7 is the way it is and why Windows 8 was the way it was.
Isn't
security
Sony
bot.
a Japanese company?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
They
if you
don't-
think about
they
it,
just that's another thing. They just recently allowed Xbox to be sold over there. In China,
Really?
In China, it was either China or Japan.
Japan has had Xbox for a while.
Yeah,
I'm back, by the way.
It'd be China then. China.
Don't you hate it when you're in the middle of a podcast and you have to go fix your aunt's computer?
No.
No.
Well, she couldn't figure out how to change her Facebook profile picture, so.
call the police. That's a crisis.
I know.
Crisis
Apparently I'm
hotline.
the police.
Someone call the wambulance.
Wambulance.
I'm
But-
call ambulance.
What,
Right.
So-
what was I just talking
What are
about
we
right
talking
before
about?
Dallas said back? Because I totally lost my train of thought.
Probably wasn't important.
No, it was.
The
Oh, yeah.
the
Oh, yeah.
Xbox 360 being sold in China.
Yeah. And they're naming it like the Chai Box or something equally racist.
The IQ. Oh.
Nah, the Google Orb.
That's a joke to the people that understand it.
The Google
No
Orb.
one. We have 5 views on our last one. We got 5 views in a week, guys. High five.
Yeah, high
The
five.
3 of them were Aaron.
3 of them were Aaron.
One of them was kind of me.
Aaron Smidgy, Aaron Philly.
Aaron S. and Aaron Kinner. Bleep that, Elijah.
And then we have Dallas.
Please bleep that.
Blake. I'm just gonna cut that whole thing out right there. All right.
Thank you.
So... oh gosh. I guess I am censoring bad words now. Holy crap! I said so many things. So.
Nigger
this.
Ex-
Damn.
Oh god.
Okay, let's be
Jordan.
honest,
Fuck,
Elijah.
fuck,
It took you
damn,
it took you 15 minutes to render 2 hours worth of podcast. I don't think it's gonna be
I'm just
that
gonna
big
have
of a
to.
hassle.
It's just I'm listening to it, and I gotta pay attention because usually I'm doing something else and not paying attention. So.
Born.
So the PS3 and
Oh,
Xbox
I think
360 were not that different console-wise, but the PS4 and Xbox One were, and PS4 outselling the Xbox One
No, that's
Makes
3
everyone
to
happy.
1. 3
that's
to 1,
surprising.
and I'm not counting down from 3.
You know, I think the PS4 outsold the Xbox One, not only because it's a good console, but only because Sony
Better
probably
console.
pulled like the biggest technological FU
Blunder.
in history,
Which was hilarious.
which was awesome. Like
Or,
Xbox
yeah.
360 going, oh yeah, everything's gonna be like paid for, and Sony's like, oh yeah, it'll be paid for too, and then at the last minute just going, you know what? No, it's not.
No,
Yep.
PS4 still has PlayStation Plus only, right, Jordan?
You have normal PSN account, and then you have PlayStation Plus. Now, on the PS3, the way it worked was, if you had just a normal PSN account, which is free, you can play online, do all the normal stuff, and then PlayStation Plus meant you got perks. Like, you get a free game every month, and they were like nice games, like Dead Space 3, whatever. And now on the PS4, and it's still the same way on the PS3, but if you have a PS4 to play online, you do have to have a PlayStation Plus account.
And you
to
still get the
use,
same
like,
perks, right?
online. Yes, you still get the same perks. You get a free PS4 game and a PS3 game and a PS Vita game every month. It's always a different game.
What, really?
Yeah, and they're, like I said, they're nice games. Like, I think the one last month was Dead Space 3. This month, it was Crisis 3, I think.
I remember you downloading Assassin's Creed or something.
Yeah, I've gotten a lot of games for free. I've gotten Mass Effect for free. I've gotten.
Well, I mean,
Assassin's
technically it's
Creed
not for
1
free.
and
You're
2
paying
free.
for it.
All right. So
I mean, you're paying
Well,
$5
I'm
a
paying,
month.
Like, I'm paying like $50 a year or something though, Jerry. So.
Alright.
all right. So
That's
wait.
not that bad.
So
and I'm
so
get-
let
and
me
I can
let
get,
me
like,
let me rephrase
36
this.
free games in that year.
PS4 is currently outselling the Xbox 3 consoles to 1. PS4 has sold about 9 million consoles globally. Xbox One has sold about 5 million. They have almost doubled global sales since launch. in the last quarter, the PS4 has sold 2.5 million, and Xbox has sold about 800,000.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
I want to point out, I don't believe it's because the PS4 is that extremely great. I mean, it's a damn good console, but it's nothing like out of the park. It's just what you would expect. The problem is the Xbox One is so bad.
It's below what you would expect.
Yeah.
It's quite far
below
down
what
there.
you would accept.
And Blake, I think what you were talking about before is, I think at E3 or it might have been E3. Xbox has just recently announced
E3 or PAX East,
that they would not allow you to share games with your friends.
That was stupid.
It would be a thing. We talked about this, but it like a few podcasts ago, and by that I mean maybe last year, and
yeah, probably
because that was a few podcasts ago. And they said you could not share games with your friends because what it would be is you would buy a game and download it to your Xbox, and you wouldn't be able to transfer a game over like that. You'd buy the game, download it to your console specifically. And PS3 or Sony released a video and is like, here is how you share games with your friends. And he hands the guy a game case. We just shared a game with our friends.
Yeah, that was hilarious.
And then the screen fades.
That was good.
I want to bring up something with the PS4 outselling Xbox One.
Huh?
I want to mention that the Wii U has sold 2 million more consoles than Xbox One.
And the Wii U...
Sad.
Wait, the Wii U sold 7 million consoles?
At the end of July, it outsold Xbox One by 15,000 units. But overall, with its 1 year head start, it has sold over 2 million consoles more than Xbox One.
All right, but
Wow.
that's a whole
But
year
2
of
million
sales.
less than PS4.
However,
However, 3DS,
You understand how many people bought it that first year.
3DS just completely destroyed Xbox One and Wii U.
and it also
Who
cost
doesn't own some
$100.
kind of
It
DS?
cost $150 though, Dallas.
I mean, yeah,
was a handheld.
How
And
many
it's
of
the
us here
only
have
handheld.
DSs?
A
How many people
3DS
here have
is the
DSs?
only
I have a
handheld
DS,
console now.
just not a DS.
Let's just do a count
Vita.
here among us.
The PS
no,
Vita sucks.
no, PS Vita doesn't count.
I've got like the old DS.
No,
This doesn't suck.
not-
It's just nothing compared to the DS.
I just want to do a
Right.
count here for our own amusement. Let's just go through like the like. Okay, how
I
many
have 3
DSs do we
DSs.
have? You
I
have
have
3 DSs.
I had a DS Lite, a DSi, and a 3DS. My DS Lite and DSi both broke on
Wait,
an
are we counting broke
on an
ones?
Activision Call of
So
Duty
I'm up
Black
to
Ops
I'm up
DS
to
game.
6. I'm up to 6. I've got a DSi and a
If we
DSi.
count
I've got a DSi.
Okay, then that's 9
Yeah,
DSs.
I've had 4.
Okay, how many do you got, Jerry?
I've got one DS.
Okay, so that's 10. How many you got, Jordan?
I've had 4.
Okay, so that's 14. Spencer, do you got one?
One what?
Do you have a
Yes.
DS?
I had one, not anymore.
That counts.
Okay, that counts.
That
So say
counts.
15.
15.
Okay, Kyle, how many DSs do you have? Kyle has 2. Kyle has a DS Lite and a DSi. That's 7. That's 17
DSs out of 7.
17 DSs for 7 people.
That's kind of sad.
No,
I've
that's
actually
amazing.
got. Here's
Funny
the thing.
story.
Nintendo.
My
Wait, my sister has one
cousin-
too. Does that count?
Wait, what?
No,
My
My
brother,
sister has one too. Does that count?
No.
No, because
No, it's not yours.
Because she's not here.
But
So-
I
She
actually
may be
kind of want
hot,
to talk
but
about.
she's not here.
I just want to say something really funny and really dumb and how spoiled kids are today. My cousin Alexis is 9, I think, 8 or 9, however old she is. She owns a 3DS, 3DS XL, and a 2DS.
What?
Yeah,
2DS sucks.
2DS is horrible.
3DS is only useful when you don't already own a 3DS or 3DS XL.
And you want something to be flat.
And
Because
shaped
that's
like
totally
a piece of pie.
Crazy
because
if
it's
you want
totally
it to be
comfortable.
You know, I can remember when the DSi came out and how big of a deal it was.
It was pretty cool.
It was
to
like
have the browser.
I can remember going through because you could get that on the DS Lite, but it just sucked.
They could.
No,
There's no way.
there was no browser
Definitely
on it.
couldn't.
It was play the Game Boy game, or connect to your friends to play the game.
Hold on, give me. Well, I'll go ahead and talk about this. I can remember that. I can remember like a month before it came out, my parents asking me what do I want for my birthday, and I can remember getting the going into GameStop like that night and going, I want the DSi. The parents were like, what is this? And they sit there and watch that video that was on the website, and I kid you not, they watched every single video for like an hour straight, and my dad was like so fascinated with it because it was like the first handheld console that was that small that could play games, had two
Apps.
decently screens on it, had apps, had 2 cameras on it. Like, let's be honest, at the time, what phone had 2 cameras on it?
Seriously.
As of today,
As of today, every single phone has 2 cameras. Some of them even have 3 cameras.
So I remember
That was his
specifically-
Evo 3D had 2 cameras or 3
Three.
Let's
cameras.
just point out that the handheld market is Nintendo's market. Like,
Yeah,
It
it is
it's
Nintendo.
theirs. It's theirs.
Do,
Nobody else gets any of
do
it.
we
It's
want to go
Nintendo.
and do we want to try and go through an entire list of all the handheld consoles that Nintendo has made?
The the PSP was just the PlayStation, and they had their own discs sold for it, and it was the PlayStation. It was showing you that you don't need a giant box to play PlayStation games. That's all.
Can
That's all.
I
it was.
point out the problem with the PSP? There was nothing wrong with it as a system. It was fine. But they made little to no exclusive games for it. There was no reason to ever buy it if you owned a PS3.
And what was the
You're
one game
You're
that
better
was
off
sold
to
with a
buy the
PSP?
PS3, so
I literally bought a PSP for $200 just so I could play Kingdom Hearts, and that's the only game I ever owned for it.
yeah, there were
Secondly-
like
I specifically remember it was a really sad time. I was like really scared my dad was gonna be mad at me when the DSi came out because I broke my DS. My original DS. I broke it by accident. It fell about 1 foot in a case, a padded case, onto carpeted floor, and it shattered. So I was sad because we were about to go on a cruise, and I didn't know what I was gonna do on like the plane ride and the what we were
bring a
gonna do in the
book.
room. First world problems. Anyways, my dad, being the nice guy that he is, buys me a DS Lite, and I was like, awesome. The DSi comes out in 2 weeks, and I'm gonna buy that too. So 2 weeks later, I bought a DSi.
Yeah,
And
I pre-ordered my DSi and I got it a day before it came out.
But I used the DS Lite to play Game Boy games, and I still used to play Game Boy
I
games. so I'm glad
I
we got
still
it.
play Game Boy games like BattleBots. That game was the shit.
yep.
That game
love
was awesome. BattleBots, original Mario Kart for the DS Lite, Mario Kart DS.
Yep.
But do you guys remember the one app that came out for DSi that was like a super big deal?
Flipped up.
Flipnote
Flipnote.
Hatena.
Flipnote
Yep.
Hatena.
Isn't that discontinued?
Yeah, they don't make it. They don't support it anymore.
They don't support DSs anymore.
You know what? I still have the original box that my DSi came in with the rice paper it was wrapped in and the original seal on it that said I got 1,000 free Nintendo shop points.
Wait a minute. Dallas, I have a
Man, all you
question
guys
for
are
you.
about
I think
this
you're the
new
only one that will
stuff.
know the answer.
All right.
What does
I'm
DS
still
stand
old
for?
school.
Dual
Dual
screen.
screen.
Dual screen? Okay. Makes sense. Never known. I never put a lot of thought into it. Okay.
I just
Actually-
assumed it was dual screen. I didn't know for sure.
My cousin
I never
Caleb's
even thought about it
sister
until now.
told me that.
That's cool.
Well, it's just all of you are about this new stuff. I still have a Game Boy.
I have a
I
Game
still
Boy
got
too.
I've got a
two
Game
Boys.
Boy
I love a
Advance
Game Boy.
SP. I've
I
got
have
the
two-
longest
Yep.
named system for a Game Boy. I've got a Game Boy Advanced SP Lite.
Okay, well, I've just got the Boy
It's
Advance.
so much
SP.
better than the SP.
My
It
mom
came with a brighter
used-
screen. There's nothing about it that's any better. It just had a
The
brighter
dar-
screen.
The darkest
My
setting
mom
for
used a
that
Game
screen
Boy
is brighter
Color.
than the brightest setting for the Game Boy Advance SP.
It's so great.
My Game Boy Color that I bought from an auction because my mom sold my original one but I actually bought it for cheaper than I sold my original one. My mom used it on the car ride to Baltimore to play Pokemon Pinball.
That's awesome.
Because that's the only game that she likes other than like Fortune Street, because you guys know how Fortune Street goes with my family.
Yeah, man.
Oh god, so much yelling. You know, I actually
My
just
dad has conniptions on
So
a
much
daily
anger from
basis.
such a large
Conniptions.
I would just like to bring up something. I posted this in the chat of TeamSpeak. The DS Lite internet browser. You guys didn't know that existed?
No, I didn't know that
Nope.
existed.
Yeah, it was like back in
never
like my
fucking
friend
heard of it.
My friend Adam Downing, which you don't know who he is and he's not significant
I wouldn't
anyway,
have
so it
paid
doesn't
for
matter
it
if I say his
though,
last name.
so
It doesn't matter.
Yeah, it was extremely expensive. It was like $60, but he original box.
Wow.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was like 2006. It's like because I was on my DS and he's like, "Oh, I got an internet browser for my DS or my DS Lite," and he like showed it to me. I was like, "This is awesome." I wish I'd known about this.
Sounds
I
amazing.
wouldn't have bought it, so I'm glad I didn't know about it.
No, there's
Yeah,
no
I wouldn't
way
have bought
would've
it either.
I didn't buy anything. You know what the first thing I bought for myself was?
What?
Minecraft.
I bought a GameCube for myself.
I bought a GameCube
no,
for
that's right,
myself,
Dallas.
$25.
I bought a GameCube and Melee for myself with my
Yeah.
brother. We bought it together.
I
How
bought
old was
a
that?
I bought a GameCube for 25, and then I bought
it was a-
Melee
it
for
was-
35.
It was a little before the Wii came out.
All right.
Yeah.
I bought mine when I was like 8.
Yeah, I bought mine when I
It's
was
like- I had
probably
$50.
11 or 12. I forget when the Wii came out.
How much was the GameCube when it came out?
100.
$100?
Yeah,
that might have been the used price.
I bought it for $50 for the console, for controllers and games that came with it, including Super Smash Bros. Melee.
Also, Blake, you said that you bought Melee for 35.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it's like 40, 50 right now.
Really? I still got mine with the original box on it.
Wait, let me just
I have-
look to make sure.
I should
So many.
sell it.
But
I really want to sell my game. Actually, I'll say this. I had a Game Boy Advance SP, just the regular one, with I sold it for $108.
Man.
I'm looking back at the
Yeah.
games I played as a kid. I'm like, these games are awesome, and I'm like, no, they aren't. They suck. These games suck,
Yeah.
and I love them because nostalgia. Pokemon. I'll be honest. Pokemon Ruby and Sapphire, that would have no appeal to me today. If I didn't
here's the
love the
thing.
games as a kid.
Dallas
geez,
has seen
Blake.
my video game collection of PS2 games, right, Dallas?
Yeah, too many.
Yes.
Okay.
But one thing,
all
Melee's
of those are
$60
from
right
like
now.
what? Damn.
Yeah.
I might sell my
Anyways.
copy. I don't know.
What is?
All those games, almost all.
Super
of
Smash
them
Bros.
I
Melee is
had
like $60 right now.
I have it.
Damn.
We all have it.
Everybody sell
Just
their
kidding.
Melee copy.
I'm not selling mine ever.
I'm not gonna
Hey
sell
Dallas,
mine.
what
I'm
about
never
your
buying it
NES?
because I
Are
don't
you ever
like
gonna
Smash
sell
that
that?
Right. Anyways, Jordan.
Like all those games I had, almost all of them, like maybe minus like 3 or 4 of them, for my PS2, I probably had before I was 10. And I loved 90% of them. But now, if I went and played like all of them now, I would hate 90% of them.
Wait, how many of those did you buy yourself?
By myself.
Yeah.
Like none of
Barely any, because like I said, I'm not saying I bought them when I was 10. Like me and my dad played video games a lot together,
Oh,
and so like me and my dad, like we'd go to Myers and be like, "Hey, there's a cool new game. That looks cool. Let's get it." And then we'd go.
do you
and buy
still?
it. What? Play video games with my dad?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Still got my
Yeah.
copy of Smash Bros.
Okay.
Here. Oh, I still got it.
Blake.
I think it even has. Does it have the manual? Yes, it's got what matters. Okay. I was
Hey
making
Blake,
sure I
I'll
still
buy
got
it
it all.
from you.
You're not
I'll
allowed to
trade
buy this
you.
from me.
Blake, you can have my Game Boy Advance SP from Melee.
Okay, here's the thing though. I'm missing the manual, but I've got the advertisement that came with it that says "Give yourself a fighting chance."
I
Like
still
a free
have the case
subscription. It comes with a free subscription of Nintendo Power.
I'm joking, by the way.
Which, by
My-
the way, is discontinued.
Yeah, I know.
I dropped my Game Boy so many times. The
That's
connecting
the very first
port is broken
thing I
on
did-
it.
I did
It's
when I
just
got
a bunch
my
of
copy.
pieces of metal now.
was I took the sticker from GameStop off of it. God, it was. Why would you stick that on there?
Yeah. There's this place in Cincinnati that Jordan and I went to when we happened to be in that area one day. And they're the
Not that we
only
live near
game
it or
store.
anything.
We're like a couple hours away from
We
it,
already
so.
mentioned the city we live in earlier this podcast.
Anyway,
But you're gonna bleep that out.
we bought a game, or multiple games. We've been there multiple times. And
Love that store.
the stickers are made to be able to peel off without leaving any residue. Why can't every other store in every other video game place have that?
Just do that. Yeah, I know.
Please. That's all I want out of life.
That's all I need to be a happy man. I don't need to be married. I don't need to have kids. I just want that.
Man, 2 hours ago I was ready to go to bed. Now I'm talking.
Why are you ready to go to bed, loser?
Because I'm tired. I had a stomachache this morning,
Sleep with me.
and I was just like,
I'd sleep
I
with
just
you.
drained my entire energy supply.
You know,
unlike Spencer,
speaking
I
of-
drank a frappuccino.
Dallas, do you want to tell us a story then?
Like what?
I don't know. I think we moved on to story time. That was the last
Story
topic
Story
forever
about my
ago.
stomachache. Story about my
Now
stomachache.
I'm gonna
Okay,
say this.
I
I'm
woke
actually
up-
gonna make this call myself. If you guys disagree, I'm open for anything. It's
I disagree.
It's 12:14 right now. You know what? Shut the fuck up, Jordan. It's 12:14 right now, and I'm thinking we should probably start shutting this down.
15
You
minutes.
guys agree?
15 minutes.
15 minutes?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm not gonna read a page out of the book,
5 more
but
minutes,
next
Mom.
time, I will read the fuck out of that book.
All right.
So
So
we're not
that'll
reading
be
the book
next
then.
Bastards out of that book.
No, not tonight.
We're not reading the book? Alright.
No,
So I guess
I want to play
we
some
moved on to
games.
story time.
I
I'll go
was
first
not-
since Elijah asked me to.
Okay. I was not in story time last week.
All
Because
right.
I was gone.
I woke up with stomachache.
Feeling like P. Diddy.
I took a crap. I still had a stomachache. And then I went to school.
Just like P. Diddy.
And I had a stomachache. I took a crap at
Like P.
school.
Diddy.
And I still had a stomachache.
Like P. Diddy.
Then I got
God.
home. And I took a crap. And I still had a stomachache.
Oh, poor
Dude,
baby.
Crap did
You were either
have?
really backed up or ah damn.
Oh, and
Yeah,
then,
Elisha
and
should
then my
be
aunt and
done.
uncle came
Go.
to town from Philadelphia or something. I don't know. I don't know where they're at, where they live actually.
Elisha
You guys won't get that, but I don't have okay. I don't think I got any stories this week. Oh wow.
Do you want to hear it? I'm trying to think of a
I have
story
one.
from
I
my
have one.
work.
Oh, Jordan's story.
Alright, Jordan.
Jordan,
Okay.
sorry, from Jory. Jordan.
Story.
Blake is like part of this story, but I'll go ahead and tell it.
Always part of your stories. I was talking about how Mason shoved the
it's-
drill up my ass.
No.
No. So
That was
we,
not a good day.
have we discussed Miss Pyatt on the podcast last time?
You know what? If you want, I'll give a little bit of a preface to her.
Please do.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so before Jordan tells the story, her name is Miss Pyatt. I won't reveal her first name. She's our economics teacher. Now, without sounding
John.
as perverted as without sounding as perverted as the guy I am, she is quite good looking.
She is sexy.
She is hot as fuck, and
Yeah.
I think
I
basically
saw.
every guy in our class wants to do her because she looks good.
And possibly some
I
of the
don't.
girls.
Except for Spencer because he's going steady.
Spencer's gay.
So, and
No, I'm not.
Spencer sounds
I said that he has a girlfriend.
I am disappointed. Anyway, she is quite attractive. She's quite good looking and whatnot, but she has
But
the education level. I'm sure she's very smart, but the thing is, she just time she talks, she just sounds like a 19-year-old preppy girl.
It's hilarious.
It's really funny.
She gave us her Twitter today to ask her questions about the homework assignment over the
I
weekend.
mean, it's just like I can't take her seriously. And so, Jordan, I think your story picks up here.
Okay, so there have been a number.
Wait,
of
is this
things.
a
I
story
don't
about
remember
Nap?
Kinda, yeah. But I'll just hold on.
Okay. Yeah, I was gonna say.
So there have been a number of stories that she has like said or things she said and stuff. That makes me feel like that overall goal of a student sleeping with her is not that far out of the realm of possibility. Like today, what'd she say? She uses Snapchat for dirty stuff, or what was it? It was dirty stuff, but we're not allowed to talk about that.
No. It was she gave us her Twitter, and then she was like, "Yeah, I'm not gonna give you my phone number because that'd be weird, and you guys would send me weird texts or something stupid." My favorite text. This is what she said. My favorite text is when a guy texts you at like 2 a.m. and he's like, "Hey, yo, girl, where you at?"
Oh yeah.
Like, and you're just like, where else would I be? I'm home trying to sleep. I know what you want, and you're not going to get it. And that's about dirty stuff. We're not allowed to talk about that here.
Yeah.
Oh,
So anyways,
God. What about
stuff like
okay?
that she says that makes me feel like a student probably could sleep with her.
Yeah.
So
Okay, I
anyway.
liked what Mason was showing us at lunch. He was showing us that like apparently someone had taken like a video while they were in class, and they were talking like one of the kids, I forget what his name was. He was talking about like using like Snapchat for like sex and whatnot. She's like, no, I usually just send pictures of Ninja Turtles to people.
Yeah, but she seemed totally cool with the fact that they use it for sex.
Yep.
She was like,
Yeah,
oh,
like
that's
she had no
normal.
problem with that.
Anyways, it's stuff like that that makes me think that you could probably sleep with her if you really tried. Anyways, I had asked Blake that, and he was like, yeah, probably. Should we ask Snap, our drafting teacher? And I'm like, yeah, let's ask him. And so we asked him, we're like, so, on a scale of 1 to 11, how hard do you think it'd be for students to seduce Miss Pocket? And he kind of looks at us like we're weird, and then he just kind of turns around and mumbles, I don't know, but I like to watch. And just walked away.
It was just like it caught him off guard because you know Nap doesn't see me as the brightest guy in the world. You know, I'm not the brightest guy.
Nobody
in the world.
knows.
But
See, I'm
And,
sure he
uh,
meant to say, "I'd like to watch you try."
I'm not sure that's what he meant.
I'm not
I'm
sure that's
pretty
what he
sure
meant.
That's not what he meant.
That's
I'm pretty
probably
sure
not what I
he
meant.
just like to watch.
especially when he
You understand.
goes, hey, you guys want a donut? And we're like, yeah. So he goes, hey, follow me. So me and Jordan go back to his office, and he's got donuts like hidden around the corner. And I went, oh, so that's where you've hidden the booty. And he goes, no, the booty's right here. I stick it out all the time. I mean, whenever you want to just touch it, see, it's right there. I mean, if you want to lean forward a little bit and touch it, it's just right there, like sticking out like his ass and whatnot. He's just that kind of guy.
Really? He did
And
that?
him and Amos and I went to the amusement park in Kansas City, and we're walking, and all you hear is Amos just yelling, left, left, left! And we're like, what are you talking about? And we look to the left, and there's just a chick with, like, enormous tits.
Oh, God.
So,
Alright,
Had to be
So are we
like,
wrapping up?
Oh man.
So-
So I'm trying to think of a story. I have a lot of. Should I just give you a rundown of all the weird people where I work at?
Yes.
Sure.
So a guy started working there recently named Chuck. He's black. That has nothing to do with what I'm about to tell you about him.
Oh,
But
I
he's
was
like the
gonna
worst
wonder
person
if that
ever.
was Jennifer's brother, but apparently not.
So, all right, let's just set up a picture in your mind. So he's always wearing a camouflage baseball cap backwards. He's middle-aged, I'm going to guess around 40. He has a little bit of stubble. He reeks of cologne. I'm convinced he doesn't shower. He is wearing headphones the whole time. Some off-brand headphones, they're probably not off-brand, but I can't recognize the logo. It almost looks like a radioactive symbol.
Skull candy, I think.
Skull candy.
Probably Skull Candy. He's always wearing those. He wears. I've never seen him wear a different shirt. It is a cerulean blue
Oh, so he's Jerry. Okay.
muscle shirt.
Ah! Hey Jerry, what plaid shirt did you wear today? Oh wait, you never change it.
And camo
he
pants.
just dyes it every night.
You know,
after
the
he goes
plaid
home.
one.
The plaid one. And camo pants.
Someday I'm just gonna bring in all my plaid shirts.
And so I'm working
I
at the
hope you
end
do.
line of retail packing, and all
I
that
will.
is you got your products that go in the box, the boxes that go in the bigger box, and the boxes that go in the bigger box are like the boxes you hang off hooks in gas stations. This kind of
Basically,
generic
be
retail
replaced
stuff.
with a robotic arm or a monkey.
No, it's just people packing this stuff up, put them in the master boxes, and then I tape them up, put them on a skid. Once we get the skid full, take them out. Do that all day. I was working 4 tables by myself, and he was supposed to be stocking them up. He's like, hey, you get this, and I'll just keep everything back here set up. I'm like, okay, don't believe you at all. So I start working, and then I realize this is an impossible task. Everyone here is working like their life depends on it, like they really want their money. And I'm running back and forth to these tables trying to tape them up. And I'm like, all right, so this table we got stuff. There's like 10 boxes here. Tape them up. Next table, 10 boxes. This is a different product. It takes them a bit longer to pack. We're okay. Turn back around. 30 boxes at the first 2 tables. I was gone for like 2 minutes. I don't understand. And I'm looking around. I'm like, all right, Chuck, you're gonna have to help me with this. He's like, all right, I'll get this. I'll help you. You help me. We'll just work on each ends here. I'm like, okay. I look up about a half hour later. He's gone. Boxes are overflowing off these tables. I have no idea where he went. So I get down to start helping him. My boss comes in, and she goes, she's like the owner of the company, I guess. And she goes, I think she's the owner. I think it's her last name. Anyway, she goes, hey, are you able to keep this up? And I'm like, I'm trying. And she's like, if you need anything, just ask Chuck and he'll come running. And I go, okay, no. I did finally find him. Do you know where he was?
Where?
He was attempting to bring a skid through. This is an empty skid with a pallet jack. So basically, skids, it'd just be like a board skid full of boxes. You use a pallet jack, it slides under the skid, crank it, it boosts up the skid so you can roll it out. He's trying to bring in an empty skid through a space that it will not fit, and he could easily just pick that empty skid up and bring it over rather than trying to roll it over with the pallet jack. The skid weighs maybe 10, 20 pounds.
Blake, I just thought of this, by the way, while he was talking. We gotta tell the locker room story from today.
Okay, so, do we want to call this the final story?
Yeah.
I want to mention one thing at the end.
I don't.
Okay.
Yeah, this should be good. I have another joke to tell you, but it's quick.
All right.
Okay, so me and Jordan were given with the impossible task of going and putting up a decal in the the girls' volleyball locker room.
Yeah, the girls.
Which, it's a hard job for me and Jordan to take seriously. And so we go in and we just got wink wink. We got a new sports director at our school, and his name is Mr. Hill, and we had to go talk to him and have us into the locker rooms. Oh God, he's such a cool guy because he just understands like us as people and kind of sick human beings we are. We walk into the office and okay, so first we walk in and we're like, the first thing we need to talk to him was about t-shirt cannons for our school, and he's like, you know what? I completely agree with you guys. We need t-shirt cannons. They're so much cooler than cheerleaders. I was like, yeah, I mean, people want to see guns. And he's useless. He's like, cheerleaders are stupid and useless and needy. And so he was like, yeah, he was like, guns are cool and fun. He's like, you guys get me a website and I will order these t-shirts. And
it was the best.
And then we come in and we're like, hey, we need you to come and let us into the locker room for the girls. And he goes, wait, who sent you here? And we're like, our teacher? Who's your teacher? Mr. Knapp. And he goes, so your teacher sent you to the girls' locker room. I was like, yeah. He's like, man, I never got those kind of assignments back in high school. I was like, yeah, you always got assigned to the boys' locker room, didn't you? And he's like, yeah. And they were always there, so it was awkward. And
Blake,
so he's like,
real quick, let me pause you. Let me pause. Just make sure you tell the true story. That includes the shower scene. Not the refined story that we told now.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we go into the locker room and we got this like logo to stick up on the wall. It's our school logo. It's for the locker room because they all complain because we don't treat them fairly. And
So we put this logo up in their locker room, and it was a pretty nice logo. But here's the thing: you can't stick vinyl onto a concrete wall and expect it to stick.
Not easy.
Not a
You
painted
just
concrete
can't.
wall.
You just can't do it. So me and Jordan are sitting there like grunting like men. No, I'm just kidding. We weren't actually grunting. We were basically swearing at this thing for not sticking to the wall. And we finally get done, and I was like just walking through it, and like we were just so impressed that like the girls' locker room didn't smell like ass, didn't smell like a set of sweaty testicles, and it was clean.
It was nice.
I wonder why.
I just opened up one of the doors and I was like, oh my god, this is the shower room. And I just walk in. I was like, I've never seen a girl's shower room before. And so I walk up to like one of the shower stalls. Obviously, I put a bucket in the door so it would prop the door open. Me and Jordan was walking around, and I noticed something interesting. And Jordan makes a very profound comment here. So we're sitting in here. It's all concrete, so it's echoing like crazy. And I just walk into one of the shower stalls. There's 2 shower stalls like right next to each other, except one has the shower head and one doesn't. And I just didn't understand it. I was like, what? How does this work? Does like one girl like sit here and like take the shower and the other girl sits and waits until the other one gets done? Like, I don't get this. And then Jordan just goes, dude, you can have mad sex in here.
Except
I just didn't understand. Echo. Except for that loudest echo. And I just like let out like the loudest moan I can, and it echoes for like straight 2 seconds. So then I walk over and I noticed, I was like, what are these like silver columns? This is like at the end of the shower room. There's just this big open room with it's just open, and there was these like silver columns in the centers that had nozzles all the way around them, and I just assumed they were like public showers, like if you just wanted to like shower off like in your uniform, I guess. I don't know. And I was thinking, like, I was just thinking, Jordan, I was like, can you imagine this? All of the girls just naked taking a groupie shower. Great scene.
Yes.
So that would be amazing.
And
God,
so,
I want to be there.
And then like we were just walking through and whatnot.
Why do you think I had the cameras?
And then we get to we start heading back towards the door that let us in, and it's actually kind of a long walk. Like it's like 30-40 feet to the back of the locker room or the shower room, and we were about to go into another room, and then we just hear jiggling at the door, and we were like, oh snap. Jordan takes off like a bullet, like through this door. I kick the bucket out of the doorway and make sure the door shuts quietly. And Jordan grabs like the paper that we had the vinyl stick to the wall, and the volleyball coach opens up the door and walks in. And me and Jordan, like I could swear to God, like my heartbeat was like, and like me and Jordan just standing there, and she kind of looks at us, and Jordan like instantly starts like just talking real fast. He's like, we were putting up vinyl, the logo for the thing. I was like, yeah, we were just putting up vinyl. And she goes, yeah, I know. And I just went, all right, well, we'll be leaving now. And we just took off.
We could not have shaved that like a second sooner, though. If she had come in a second earlier, we would have been in that shower room.
Yeah, we would have been in the shower room.
Put up on the wall, by the way.
There's
so
nothing
if
in there.
She had walked in half a minute earlier during Blake's moan,
then she probably just would have like dropped her pants right.
You hear that sound? That's the sound a pan is dropping.
All right, so 2 quick
I hear
things
Blake in
before
the
I
dead
joke.
silence.
Number 1, as I was walking
not my
back
panty
to
dropper.
class from the lunchroom today, Jordan decides, while we're on the stairs, to ram his crotch area near my butt, and the girl...
It was my dick into your anus, Dallas. Get it right.
The girl walking next to me, who's a friend of mine and Jordan's, I guess, decides she thinks it's funny that Jordan's trying to rape me, so she jumps in front of me and makes me stop, so that Jordan rams into me harder.
Oh god.
Ram him harder, Jordan.
I did.
Also, secondly, here's a cool thing. Hashtag smash the record. There's a guy that's going to be playing Super Smash Bros. Melee for 72 hours straight, with a 10-minute break every hour that it can stack up, so he can take a nap at some point for like 3 hours. But they're raising money for St. Jude's Children's Research. They've raised $4,000, and that's just today. And I just wanted to give that a little shout out. That's cool. It should be going on by the time the podcast might be uploaded. Maybe.
All right, I'll link
I thought
it.
one other person had something to say.
Links. I did. So you guys
It's
want
on
to hear some jokes?
twitch.tv/VGBootcamp.
You guys want to hear some end of the podcast jokes?
Yes.
Yes.
All right. So
Are they anti-jokes?
Can I tell the duck bicycle one, please?
yes,
Yes.
you can.
Okay. What do a duck and a bicycle have in common?
I don't know.
Both have
What,
handlebars.
Jordan?
They both have handlebars except for the duck.
Okay.
Such a bad
It's
joke.
fucking obvious.
So bad.
It's the best joke.
So a guy walks into his bar, into this bar, yeah, and half of his head is an orange. And the barman goes, "What can I get?" Holy shit! Half your head is an orange. How the fuck did that happen? And this guy goes, "Magic lamp, rubbed it, 3 wishes, yada yada." What in the bejesus were your 3 wishes that half your head is an orange? Alright. First wish. I wish for every woman in the world to love me. Alright, first off, stopping that. That's a flawed wish, and you know it. Alright. Barman. Yeah, okay. What was your second wish? Second wish. I wish that I was a billionaire. What in the hell was your third wish? Half your head is a freaking orange. It's a silly wish, I don't want to say. Go on, tell me. I'll give you a drink. Okay. Well, for my third wish, I wish that half my head was an orange.
Yes! I saw that one coming.
That's awesome.
I like my women how I like my coffee. Without a penis.
Alternatively,
seriously,
but I don't
in
know.
Wyoming.
Alternatively, ground up and in the
Yes.
freezer.
But
Okay.
I think those might be a little too long for right now.
Oh man.
So should we
I
save it
guess
for
that's really
another
short.
time?
Okay, let's tell the one.
Okay, the only one I can remember well is the bear one. I'll have to look up the other one. So, okay. Hold on. I actually have it on my phone right here. Give me 5 seconds and I'll find it.
Why'd you tell another one?
Okay, here. The Indian joke. This is the
Here-
one that's shorter.
here's a
and
joke.
it's
Hey,
a
why
little bit
couldn't-
funnier.
No,
too.
tell the
Here-
bear one because I
do you want-
remember the Indian one.
Do you want to
I don't
hear a
remember the bear one.
one-liner?
Yes.
Why couldn't the boy with no arms ride a swing?
Why?
It wasn't his turn.
Okay.
So bad.
Yeah,
Alright,
this is
Jordan.
kind of a long joke. It's like a paragraph long. A Polish man, a Czechoslovakian man, and a Swedish man go hiking in the mountains.
Yes.
They run into a male and a female grizzly bear. The Czechoslovakian and the Polish man are eaten. The Swedish man runs back to town and gets the sheriff and tells him what happened. He says that the Czechoslovakian guy was eaten by the male and the female was eaten by the Polish guy was eaten by the female. So the sheriff says, "Okay, well, go show me where it happened." And they go back up into the mountains and they find the 2 bears. The sheriff pulls out his rifle and shoots both the bears. For legal reasons and whatnot, he has to cut open the bear and make sure that the people are in there. So he cuts open the female bear, and sure enough, there's the Polish guy, and he's able to identify him. So he turns to the Swedish guy and says, "Yeah, well, I believe you. I think it's safe to say that the check's in the mail."
Oh! God damn it, Jordan. That's so bad.
Oh man.
It's so bad, it's so good.
Okay,
I like
you know
the
that-
zebra one. The
I
zebra
have
one's racist.
All right. Hey,
Oh,
what is
I
what
love
is
the zebra one.
what is a chicken wrapped in bacon without the bacon?
Chicken.
Chicken.
Chicken?
Chicken wrapped in.
Wow.
God damn it.
No, Jordan, that joke reminded me of that, like almost the oldest anti-joke I can think of. It's the guy who is going through someone else's mail, and he's going through the letters, and just, Bill, hey, Bill, these are all for you.
Yep. That
Wow.
that's really old. That's really old.
That's great. Like, I never heard it before, but it still wasn't funny because I saw it coming a mile away.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay,
Oh,
can I
if I
tell the
could see it
zebra
coming
one?
from a
Zebra
mile
one's so
away.
good. Plus, it's racist, which
Tip
is
of
the
my
best part.
dick.
I love the zebra one, so
Oh,
We should
God.
save it for another
Okay.
podcast, though.
well, yeah, let's save it for another one. Because it's like
I'm not gonna
7
remember
minutes
it by
past
then.
what we were gonna say. I will. Just
Alright.
remember
Okay.
zebra one and Indian one.
Okay.
Alright.
Better remember,
And
or
then-
So-
I'm gonna kill you.
Let's end
Is it
out
my
on a
turn?
high note. I ain't saying she a gold digger, but she did move to California in 1849.
Wow. I knew that was coming.
Oh,
I knew that was coming.
So is it my turn?
Yeah, go ahead.
And this has been the LunchTable Podcast. Thank you for watching. We'll see you again, hopefully. Bye-bye.
Hopefully,